Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 45 of Shop at the Shed. It's Lynn, the leather bag lady here, and welcome. Ooh, there was just a noise. What was that? I'm in the trailer doing the video today, and I will be off to the library later to upload it. I have been doing really well with the library. They have a little study room, which if it is available, I can close the door, and I'm actually probably going to start doing my videos from there as well. I can book the room, so maybe a couple times a week I will book that room. And I spoke to the library about going to the parking lot after hours and kind of using their Wi-Fi, and they said it's fine. We want the police screaming into the parking lot and arresting the leather bag lady for internet theft or whatever. So maybe a little naive on my part, but I wanted to make sure that I was not breaking any rules. So a little bit of housekeeping. As always, if you are new to the Shop at the Shed project, welcome. This is a great place for fellow bag ladies, bag lovers in general, children, gentlemen, ladies, whoever, more than welcome to hang out with me a couple times a week and check out some awesome bags. All bags are gently used. They are thrifted. They are marketplace. They are given to me, family and friends. Not so much that, but I like to, sorry if this is wobbling, the table is very wobbly here, so I will try and not lean on it at all. I try not to take items from family, friends. Even I have had subscribers, followers offer me bags in the past. In order for me to sell the bags to you at the prices I sell them at, I pretty well need to get them under $15. And that is not what people are anticipating when they offer me their Coach bags, their Roots bags. You know, they're wanting $35, $45, $55. That's what I'm selling them to you for. So by the time I pay my little bit of shipping, I pay the fees for the platform, I pay for all my shipping materials, I pay for all the materials to refurbish the bags. I do not make a lot of money on these bags, so I don't want to insult anybody by offering them a very menial amount of money. And what that also does is it makes these bags really hard to find. So I am uncovering stock that I haven't seen in years. So I'm sure at some point prices will need to go up fairly significantly, but at this point in time I'm still working with stock I already have, and you know, I like to try and keep the prices down as much as I can. There are no fakes to my best of my knowledge. I would rather sell you an authentic bag that has a scratch or two on it than a knockoff. The quality is just not there. Now, most of the bags that I sell are, I mean, the Dooney Bourques, you will get fakes. The Coaches, of course, you will get fakes. Yeah, most of the bags I sell are not kind of fake worthy bags, but every now and again I do come across something that I'm like, oh, I've had a few Longchamps. I've had, you know, a few where you're thinking, is that real? So what I do is I just sell them at a reasonable price. If you're getting a Luxe brand for a secondhand online store price, then good for you. If it turns out that it's not authentic, then you've still paid a reasonable price for a good quality leather bag. So most of the bags that I sell, I put my hands on many times. Picking it, cleaning it, storing it, photographing it. So if there's anything wrong with the bag or something just doesn't feel right, smells, that kind of thing, I will have ample opportunities to catch it. And if it's something that I would carry myself in an, you know, with regardless of what the issue is, then I will still present it to you. And that's kind of where the pound bags came from. We'll talk about that when we get to that bag. But anyway, a big long story to tell you that the bags are gently used. They are not brand new. I try and do the best I can to get you the best quality I can. but they are thrifted for the most part. Secondly, there is no exchanges, refunds, returns. However, if a bag comes to your door, your mailbox, and obviously something has happened between it leaving my hands and coming to your hands, then please reach out, because obviously it's been an issue with shipping or something of that nature, and we will do our best to compensate you. And I still need to take care of things on my end as well. All my packages are sent with insurance. I know on some sites, specifically Etsy, that is an extra charge to the customer. That to me is a false economy. I've had more so during the peak of COVID, I had people, Christmas Eve messaging me and telling me that they hadn't received their bag yet, and I was able to use the tracking number and locate the bag, or at least have somewhere and somehow to communicate with the post office that this is not up to par. So that is all included in shipping, which brings us to the next item, which shipping is not included. However, you are not being asked to pay the full shipping price. Shipping is insane in Southern Ontario. And technically what is happening is we're doing a shipping share. So you're paying a portion, I'm paying a portion. It's usually 50-50. I sent a bag out to Alabama today, and it was, just over $20 to ship. So it was a vintage bag, so the shipping is a little different on the Etsy site, but that's basically the three. No returns. Shipping is not free, unless you cross that $100 threshold, and the bags are gently used. So we're 7 minutes in, a little chitty chatty today. Sorry about that if it is not of interest to you, but let's get started. So I'm going to start with one of my favorite brands, and as I said, I am uncovering bags that I have not seen in years. I knew I had them, but I just did not know whereabouts in the storage unit they were. So this is my first bag today. This is a Roots satchel. It is kind of a mahogany brown color. Very, very unisex. You could wear this equally as a gentleman or a lady. It is not something you have to worry about the buckle. You can shorten or lengthen it, but it does have the magnet on it. So that is just an aesthetic thing. The flap is all that beautiful raw leather. It does have a zipper, much like some of the Coach bag zippers, where you actually have to connect it up to zip it. And then inside, it is just all that typical Roots loveliness. Let's take the interior out. So the inside is in excellent condition. You've got 2 slip pockets. You've got your Roots branding, and then you have a zipper. You've got your Roots made in Canada. They still do have their leather bag manufacturing plant in Toronto. A lot of their clothing and that stuff is sourced overseas, but their leather bags are still made in Canada. There's no base of sorts, like no actual gusset, as I call it, but you're still going to get a fair bit in there. And then you've got that zipper closure, and then just that flap over for a little bit of extra protection. There is an extra long strap. It is quite wide, which is very comfortable to wear. It is adjustable, and it's just a super cute bag. I like the anything tassel-y, I love it. So that is the pull tab. Nothing on the back, no pockets or anything on the back. So a great work bag, a great a great weekender. No, I wouldn't say, well, I mean, it depends how light you travel, but it's just a great catch-all. You could put a pair of flip-flops in there. You could put your lunch in there, put your tablet in there, put a book in there, a water bottle, and away you go. So that is bag number one. That is our Roots bag. Now, I've got a couple of Denier bags for you today. Now, I've just moisturized these bags, so they might be a little slick for me to handle. And I used my my Leather Better. It's a Canadian brand. This one is very well used, and I have a second pot that is equally well used. And I'm noticing with the temperatures being as warm as they are here in southern Ontario for the summer, that it's a lot more pliable. In the winter months, which you don't really consider, it's almost hard to scoop it out. So this is the next bag. So there's a lot going on here. It's a very smooth leather. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. You have a front pocket here, magnet, very strong magnet. On the back you have a zipper compartment which goes all the way down to here. Now, this strap system, first of all, it is an adjustable strap, and I love this adjuster type because you're not limited by holes. I mean, you can always put extra holes in it, but this allows you to, you know, double it right up if you want to make it a smaller bag. So this strap will come off. It's got these kind of lobster claw strap. So I'm going to take that off because so that strap is quite a long strap. You can wear it crossbody, you can wear it shoulder. With the loops being on the back, you could almost wear it as a belt bag as well. Just because these loops are not on top, they're a little bit on the back. So if you wanted that to sit on the front or whatever, you could do that. And you could also use it as a clutch. So this bag is very, very diversified. You can use it a whole bunch of different ways. You open up this little flap and you have a compartment, zipper compartment. There is your Denier branding. Denier is a Canadian company. 2016 they were sold, still within Canada, but to a conglomerate. There's your slip pockets. Quality, this is an older style, and the other one I have for you today is an older style as well. I'm almost going to say they're quite possibly vintage. Now, bearing in mind that vintage is 20 years ago. So 2004 is 20 years ago. So it sounds a lot, but it really isn't. So you have that section, and then you have a zippered section that has a slip pocket, and that is about it. So this just gives you a little bit of added protection. The zipper action is so smooth. And then you've got that little snap on top. Now, there was a little bit of corner wear. I have taken care of that. There is one tiny little mark on the front there. And other than that, oh, no, there is. Now, what tends to happen in this situation is that darn god-awful glazing will let go. And basically what that leaves you is layers of fabric in some instances, cardboard in most instances, and then the outer shell of leather. And it can look really, really messy. So I have done a little bit of refurbishing. What I do is I reheat the glazing with a flame, and I just kind of pat it down just so that it's not so messy and not so unsightly. It certainly doesn't put it back to where it should be, but it just makes it so that it's not messy looking. Glazing is the devil. You will hear me say that forever. This god-awful stuff that they put on the edges of their bags or on straps, or, I mean, I know it, basically what it does is it hides the fact that a lot of these straps, a lot of these elements of the bag are not only leather. It is a sandwich situation. Fabric, cardboard, and not necessarily a skim of leather. The leather in this instance is a good thickness. It's just, I don't know why they don't just use 2 pieces of leather, because there is a piece. Oh, actually, there isn't a piece underneath. So the leather is just on top. It's the fabric that is underneath, and then the cardboard in the middle. So, and unfortunately, your Luxe brands are the exact same. Leatherstein, what's his first name? I can't remember his first name. He routinely disassembles, I think I told you this in our last video, he routinely disassembles Luxe brands and kind of calls them out for how cheaply they are made. So a lot of these brands, I'm on a thrifting site, and recently there was somebody, like a Facebook group, there was somebody had a vintage Coach bag and said, you know, is this worth all the hype? And I've got a couple of YouTube friends who are Coach specialists, and they absolutely would pit a vintage Coach with, you know, many of the Luxe brands just for quality. And I mean, the vintage leather on Coach is primo, absolutely primo. So next I have a belt for you. Now I've had this belt for quite a while and I just love it. I love the kind of distressed look on the leather. I love the studs. I love the color, and you see this kind of zebra-like striations on it. The back is all beautiful raw leather, and it is a Gap product. I don't know if you can see that, or that's upside down. Yeah, it's a Gap product. So this is a large belt. I actually didn't measure it when I did the listing because I didn't have my measuring tape. So where did my measuring tape go? Huh. Where did my measuring tape go? I've only got about 1,500 of them laying around. I'll make sure the measurement is in the listing. Where did it go? I got so much junk beside me here. Anyway, we'll worry about that later. So this belt, it is a large, so I'm going to suggest it's probably going to be between 36 and 40 inches. I will, actually, you know what, let's just get the, measuring tape now and measure it, and that way we're done with the speculation. So what I do is I measure from the last hole to the end of the buckle. And it is 40.5 inches. Now, there is some space there. You could easily put another hole or 2 there. I do believe that the buckle is brass, and all the grommets and studs are brass. It's a beautiful belt. The color, that mahogany brown, and that root satchel was a very mahogany brown colored as well. So this is our small item today, is this belt. I take some belts with me to my in-person shows, and every time I hang this belt up, I really, really like it. It's too small for me. I don't really wear belts. I don't need to accentuate the fact that I have a belly any more than necessary. Just like I don't need to accentuate the whole boobalas here, because let's face it, they're there. So that is our small item. Now this is the denier bag that I was telling you about, the other denier bag. How cute is this guy? So it's a chocolate brown, tiny little bit of corner wear, which is not visible right now because I just moisturized it. There is also a little bit of rubbing. Let's see if I can even find it. Just in the apex. Oh, I can't even find it now. Anyway, you won't see it because it's kind of hidden. but I always like to tell you everything. Really nice base on it. It will sit up nicely for you. The accent white stitch. Love this kind of egg-shaped attachment. I really appreciate when a company does something a little different with their straps, just because straps are so boring. But I really like this kind of leather wrapped shape, like an oval shape, and then it's attached to the bag that way. Even this extra piece here, it's unnecessary, and this is all extra cost. It's a shoulder bag for sure. The strap drop is 9 inches, I do believe. You've got this little bit that flaps over, and that opens up into some compartments. So there is your Denier branding. As I said, it is an older style. Quality, I would suggest. The newer stuff, I don't like it. I really don't like it. My opinion, I do not like the new stuff at all. A zipper compartment, center divider with a compartment, and then on the other side, you've got your slip. So this is quite a petite slip. That is how I date my bags on Etsy. I was going to offer this up on Etsy, and then I thought, you know what? Let's offer it at Shop at the Shed. It is a vintage piece, but I still think it is very usable. I love the multi-compartment, and I think somebody will really appreciate kind of the daily driverness, but also the beautiful quality of the leather. All of these bags have been cleaned by me. I will, I don't use saddle soap so much anymore. I found a wipe. Kristen D uses Tubbo towels. We don't get those here in Canada, but I have found kind of an equivalent. I find it a lot easier because I'm not having to fill a dish with water and a sponge and then the saddle soap. And I actually am out of saddle soap. So I am using these Tubbo towels, and I really do. I like them. I like them a lot. So that is 4 items. Our last item is the pound bag item. So if you are new to the Shop at the Shed experience, you're wondering, what the heck is a pound bag? So when I was doing my little kind of housekeeping portion at the beginning, I shared with you that there are bags that I come across that I really like the brand. I like the quality, but I don't like the fact that it's got maybe a little bit of extra wear. But it still doesn't warrant that bag being put into a redonate pile or, you know, just a throwaway pile. And this bag is absolutely one of those. This is a beautiful orange fossil. Now, I have 2 or 3 of these fossils in my pound bag section because what happens is the color fades. So if you can see how different that color is to that color, I've moisturized this bag, so it will bring a little bit of the richness back, but there is definitely some fading, and that is the only reason this bag is in the pound section. There's nothing wrong with it, much like the other fossil bags that I have sitting. I've got 5 or 6 fossil bags in the pound section, in the pound bag section, just because they are just a little bit faded. So you've got a little accent D-ring there. This opens up. You've got a compartment. You've got 2 compartments here. And this little guy does actually open up to a tiny little compartment there. You have your center compartment, 2 slips. There's your fossil branding, zipper compartment. And then on the back front, whichever way you want to use it, there is almost a little bit of an internal wallet. This is such a pretty bag. It's just, like I said, a little bit faded. There's your fossil branding, and this bag actually does come with a fossil key, which you've heard me talk about before, that they are no longer offering the key, which just blows my mind. It is such an identifier for these great fossil bags, but somebody somewhere didn't want to do it anymore. So the strap is leather on one side, cotton on the other. It is adjustable. It's a great, great, great bag. I really, really like it. But as I said, there is some color fading. Great little bag. It's actually not that little. It's a fairly decent size. But that is our pound bag for today. So I have a little history piece on the Gap for you, and it's a little lengthy. So I figured I would wait until the end. Oh my goodness, 25 minutes already. Holy, this is going to be the longest Shop at the Shed so far. So the Gap. I didn't really know that much about the Gap, and there was way more information than I had time to share with you, but founded in 1969. So it is 55 years old. The simple agenda was to find a good fitting pair of jeans easily, and that is how they came to be. Their first store offering was men's Levi's and cassette tapes. Who knew? And they sold Levi's for a lot of years. And they are now, so Don and Doris, their last name has just escaped me. Yep, it's gone. Were the original founders of the Gap. They opened their first store in San Francisco. And as I said, it was men's Levi's and music tapes, record tapes. They now have 4 brands under their umbrella, which a lot of companies are doing. You've heard me talk about Coach has a number of brands under its parent umbrella. Liz Claiborne has a bunch of brands under its parent umbrella, and I guess the Gap is no different. So Banana Republic, Old Navy, Athleta, and the Gap are the 4 brands that is the Gap. They used to own Janie and Jack, which was a high-end children's brand, Intermix, which I'm not too sure about that, and Hill City, which was a high-end gentleman's brand. They have all been sold. 2021, most of those were sold. Probably a COVID situation, but they now just concentrate on those 4: Banana Republic, Old Navy, Athleta, and Gap. And Gap Home was actually instigated in 2021 as well. So I like the Gap. I think the Gap stuff is very, it's a little fashiony, but I love Old Navy. I mean, I'm a plus size gal, and Old Navy fits me beautifully. I have gone to Old Navy and Giant Tiger, believe it or not, and bought quite a few things recently. I do not buy new stuff. I'm a thrifter through and through. Thrifted. My skort is Giant Tiger. I thrift. I do not buy brand new stuff. So when I go to Old Navy, or if I go to Giant Tiger, I needed tube tops. I mean, I'm a big girl, so you better believe that I need a decent tube top. I've got 2 that are threadbare. I'm embarrassed to even go in the garden with them. Not that I have a garden anymore, but I needed new ones, and I've been on the hunt for 3 years for tube tops. And finally, somebody said Old Navy, so I went in there, and of course, they're all sold out, but there might be some in clearance. I hit the jackpot. There was 4, one of the colors I didn't like. So I got 3 tube tops with the inner bra shelf, because God knows the girls need a little help hanging up back with, well, I mean, they're not where they should be. They haven't been for years, but $9.99. So, unless I'm getting the deal of a century, I will thrift for everything. So that is it. That is our Shop at the Shed number 45. Hope you enjoyed it. Anything that you see here, I have not mentioned leatherbagLady.com at all in this video, which is crazy because we're now almost half an hour in. But everything that you have seen this evening is available at leatherbagLady.com. Head on over there, and if you want to purchase something, there's 50, 60 other items from previous Shop at the Shed episodes that are just sitting there waiting for a new home. So please go and check that out. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you've made it this far, woohoo! Thank you, thank you. And I will see you next time for the next episode of Shop at the Shed. Bye!